Hey, so here's a quick demonstration of how you can pretty easily set up in Gmail a filter that will take all of your current notifications and put them into a folder or label, as Gmail likes to call them. Um, if you were accustomed to using Buzz, you know that you had two choices. You could get a digest of everything that came in a 24-hour period or whatever the period was, or you could have them trickle in one by one. Several of us preferred to have them trickle in one by one, but not directly into our inbox because that could quickly get overwhelming. I'd rather go to a place where I can choose when I'm going to look at it, but still have it be in my email. So the way you do that is by creating a filter again. So just as I had done this for Buzz, I'm going to do this for Currents. The easiest way to do this is to first to start with something that did come from Currents. All right. So here I have a message. It has this BASK Currents indicator. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm in the Gmail web interface, by the way. So now that I've selected that, I'm going to go here to this More menu, which is the sort of vertical ellipsis. Click that, and then I'm going to say Filter Messages Like These. Now, you might notice that it was smart enough to say, oh, it comes from a list and it's gear.currents.bas.org. Well, gear might be too specific. If you wanted to create a separate label for every category that exists, knock yourself out. But I'd rather have it all go into one single label for all of currents. So instead of gear dot, I'm going to put an asterisk, which is a wildcard. Okay. So that's all I have to do here. Now I can say create filter, and they will ask me what I want to do with things that match this filter. So I'm going to hit create filter. And the first thing I'm going to do is say skip the inbox so that it doesn't also appear in my inbox. And I don't want it to say mark as read so that I can keep track of what I have read and what I haven't. So I'm going to not check that. I am going to say apply a label. So I'll check that. And then when I go to choose the label, if you already have something appropriate, go ahead and select that. But in my case, I'm going to say new label. So now that I've selected that, I'm going to enter BASK Currents as my label. You could choose whatever you like. I don't like to nest things because I just find that gets unwieldy after you have like one layer of hierarchy. So anyway, that's sufficient for me. You can do whatever you like. I'm now going to click create. Okay, so now you'll see I have the BASK Currents label, and I've checked that I want to apply that label. That basically means move it into this folder for those of us who don't think of things as labels. All right, I think it's also helpful to say never send it to spam. Okay, that way you won't run into a situation where Gmail got a little overzealous and said, oh, this is junk, and then you never saw an important invitation to the paddle of your dreams, right? So then the last thing I like to do, because you have likely watched this video because you've already become overwhelmed with the messages that came into your inbox, and you're like, oh boy, I wish there was a way to filter all these. Check the also apply filter to 26 matching conversations. This number will be different based on your circumstances, but this will say anything that's already in the inbox, go ahead and retroactively move it into that label, right? Or apply that label. Okay. So I'm now going to hit create filter. And as they say, Bob's your uncle. So what we have here are all of the messages that hit that filter. So if I go to my inbox again, okay, one more. There we go. If I go to the inbox again, those messages are no longer appearing here. Okay. But if I go to BASK Currents, voila, there they all are. And so if you use a non-Google email program to read your email, but you have Gmail, the trick is go into the web interface, set this up, and then you are most likely using what's called IMAP to read your mail in one of these other mail readers. things are just going to show up as a normal folder now, and that's my preferred way to consume any sort of messaging that comes from a list. So hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, hit me up on Currents.